Oh, I don't know why I had to start with some weird freaking noise. But now,
is that how this starts? This, I guess, technically is the first episode. This is how it always starts.
This is how it always starts. I should be writing this down. I do have a notepad. I actually prepared. I've been preparing.
This is the first I've ever seen in my entire life.
Actually, for like the past week or so, I've been
outside of guitar.
Yeah,
outside of guitar, I will give you that. I will say one nice thing, and that's it. I got it done early in this podcast. I can be mean for the rest of it, but outside of guitar. Oh, you're sorry. I just realized it wasn't even a compliment because I would say outside of guitar, you're garbage. So it was really a backhanded compliment. But yeah, notepad. You got a headset. You have a chair this time. We were sitting on like milk crates the first time. This is a big step up.
Yeah, it was. How long ago was that? Oh, I was just looking at Facebook memories that came up today, and it was 7 years ago today, 6 or 7 years ago today. I can't remember which one it was. But our episode of Two Idaho and Potato Farmers, Help Wanted, was put up on SoundCloud.
Oh, Help Wanted was
Betty White.
You've Got to Be Knitting Me.
Yeah, You've Got to Be Knitting Me. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorites. 7 years, eh? Wow. That means we had a pretty good run because we started it July of 2014. So if it was still going, and that was 8 years ago, if we were still going a year later.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
crazy.
Crazy.
Like, we're basically Scooby-Doo at this point. We've been around forever.
I feel like with this one, we are living in a successful future without having to have accomplished anything. Like with the technology that there is, other people created technology, and now I feel successful because it's like, hey, look, my podcast got better, and I literally wasn't even doing it for years.
It's the game genie of podcasting. It's like, man, look how good I am at this video game. I'm so awesome. A million lives. Like, fuck, I'm great at this game. Yeah, they just gave us the cheat codes to figure this out. That's it.
Yeah.
Because again, the very first time was on milk crates being recorded with your phone sitting between us. That was our entire strategy.
Yeah.
And look at us now.
Like, it worked for what it was. And actually, doing this podcast, when I was talking to, or like figuring out how to use this browser with StreamYard here, talking to PJ, the guy at the store there.
The guy at the Playhouse, right? PJ's Playhouse?
Yeah. PJ Gated Farm. He was telling me...
It was PJ's Farm, wasn't it?
PJ Gated Farm.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, you're right.
We were talking about how years ago, like I was saying, like our podcast that we were doing, and he was saying the same thing when he was doing it. You know, it was like, that was just the early days of podcasting. Everybody was kind of just trying to get it recorded in any which way. And now,
because I think how the timeline kind of felt like late 2000s was when like podcasting started for real, right? That's when they actually popped up. Then it was like early 2010s. Those are like the official, like the people who are still podcasting today for a living kind of started around there, like 2011, right? Yeah. That's people got in late enough, like after it began, that they were able to kind of have a set template to just do it.
Right.
But then we were kind of that second generation after where we all failed spectacularly in 2014. It's like every 3 years, you had to be in those first 3 years to really just make a living of it. And after that, we unfortunately were riding in its wake at that point.
Yeah, exactly. We were just trying to everybody's already hopped on the boat and we are just trying to reach whatever ropes are still going.
It's like we're surfing at a wave. But the wave is going the opposite direction. Like, we're never going to hit that wave.
We're never getting there. We're never
going to crest, man. We're never going to ride that pipe through the middle.
That's why I think doing this one will be fun. I think this one will be fun because it's become so normal. I think the waves have started to no longer be these huge things. It's more of like kind of stabilized the podcasting arena. And so
that's fair. The only reason I'm participating is so I can listen to my voice on podcasts while I walk the dog.
I'm going to edit all of your parts out of this.
I mean,
that's going to be me talking to silence and laughing and responding. Like, look how good I am. Look how good I am at improvising a whole podcast without the other side.
That's how Bill Burr does it. He just talks to someone the whole time.
I know,
and
it's
then
insane.
but then he just cuts out that second person. We've cracked the code there. He
You think that's
pretends
what
like
he does?
does it individually. Oh, for sure. It's like those people who are like, yeah, no, he improv that whole thing, but if you like look in like under their bed in like a little dusty notepad, they had it all written out. Improv's a lie. I refuse to believe anyone can make up stuff on the spot. It's all a lie. It's all
I think Bill Burr
movie
could.
magic.
If there was one person, I would say Bill Burr could. I think
No.
he
You know how I
talks
know?
like
I
that to
am that
himself.
second person. I am that second person.
I think he talks to himself like that all the time, even when no one's around or recording. I think that is just what Bill Burr is.
So, quick question for you. Do you rage when you're alone? Like the way he would talk to himself in a podcast and get angry about things. When you're alone by yourself and you're talking to yourself, what's your mood generally? Because I'm an angry alone person.
Oh, really?
Because it's more entertaining. Like I like getting mad at stuff because it'll have no consequences because I'm by myself. And then it just ends up making me laugh. Like I love getting road rage. I would never flip someone off or roll down a window and yell, but I love just yelling at people in my car because it's so much fun. I don't get to yell at anyone. Like I would never do it to their
Right,
face.
no,
I don't
that
get to do
makes
it in my
sense.
everyday life. It's just fun. It's like an outlet.
I don't.
It's like playing video games to murder someone. I like to sit in my car and scream at people.
I think I yell at people when I'm driving, but it's not even necessarily mad. It's more just like outbursts of like cathartic release of energy. But because when I'm alone, I don't actually do that much. I feel like I'm like in a sedation stage when I'm by myself. I'm just like, nope,
You're basically
there's
in a
no
cryo
mood.
sleep.
Yeah, I'm like thinking a lot, which I try not to do too much. But I'm thinking a lot or like planning something, but time will just stop existing until I'm around other people. And then it's like, oh yeah, here we go. I have energy.
I mean, that's totally fair. I'm an out loud talking to myself person. Like Brittany being gone for these few days, like around the house, I am talking constantly for no reason. Like
Well, I talk to
got
myself, maybe not that much, but
I do a lot. I got Fred now, so I can kind of direct some stuff his way. But I'm generally walking around commenting on stuff in my house. You know, what's working, what's not working, what makes me laugh, what makes me mad. Usually, what makes me mad, and it just brings me so much joy to like get so angry. I get it. I get why Bill Burr does it. I never want to do it to someone's face, but oh man, getting mad is so much fun. Like legitimately, like I'm worked up, and then I just like take 1 second, I take a step back, and I'm like, this is so funny. Like then I just burst out laughing. Like
it's like going to a scary movie. You get like worked up and scared, right? Like that's why people go to those scary movies. And it's like
not me.
If there was movies that could make you
like
angry,
too brave. Oh, what movies have made you angry in your life?
oh man!
I can think of, like,
easy.
characters.
This is easy. No, easy. I have had this for years. Prometheus. Prometheus.
Just because it didn't deliver in any way.
No, I thought it was a good movie that was ruined by one thing, and it was such an easy thing. I'll just say it. I don't care. It's been long enough. There's no spoilers. I don't care.
We're on the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
We're at 10 year. It's been 10 years.
Yeah. So here's my problem with Prometheus. For people who don't know, Prometheus is part of the Aliens movie universe, whatever, with Michael Fassbender. And
the Ridley Scottiverse.
Yeah, the Ridley Scottiverse. And they go trillions of miles or something that they say on this huge ship. They spend more money than you can even imagine. They even talk about it in one scene or whatever. And when they show up with this planet and they send the team into the caves, okay, they had already demonstrated that they had those little like drones that could go scan the cave for anything in there, right? They showed that they had those, right? But they went into the cave completely dark and immediately came across stuff that they didn't recognize and started poking at it, and then they end up getting killed, a lot of them, right off the bat. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, you spent all this money, traveled all these millions of friggin' miles. You couldn't bring a floodlight that runs on a battery, and you just walk in and just, look over 100 feet away because we have a floodlight, a thing that currently exists in our world that they use because it's dark in mines. They could have seen 100 feet away, like, hey, we should get out of here because we can literally see everything in this cave already because of a thing called a light bulb. And I couldn't get over that.
Hear me out. They're going to explore pitch black caves, right?
Yeah.
And do you know what exists in pitch black caves?
Bats.
Chuds.
Chuds.
What is it? Cannibalistic human underground dwellers. Chuds. And you know what chuds are attracted to? When you flash a floodlight at them.
Then why wouldn't they live outside? Why wouldn't they live outside in the light? If
it makes them mad. No. I mean, like you turn this floodlight and then they like shriek and they come right at it. You are attracting chuds by bringing a floodlight.
Maybe they should have just had like an off comment line that somebody said, "Hey, we should bring the light." No, man, chuds, and that's it. Chuds. And then move on and be like,
boom.
If you can find a deleted scene,
I'll edit my own scene in. I'm just gonna put on a pair of goggles and a white t-shirt and be like, "Ooh, I think I hear some chuds. Better turn off that light," and then I'll just splice it in.
Oh man, you know what I just realized we got to do right now? We got to do the intro video. I made it. I might as well show it.
Absolutely.
It's already 11 minutes in. Let's do it here.
I got a quick question for you.
What?
Quick question for you. Did you purposely turn that energy drink away so you wouldn't have to pay royalties to
150,000%?
Was that AMP? Was that an AMP?
Yeah, AMP.
Oh man. You think they would come after you, right? Because this podcast.
I don't know. Who knows? I think because you can buy them for $1 a piece at Dollar. Like that's when fair. Most energy drinks are like $4 or $5. These you can buy for $1 at the dollar.
So they're probably hurting at this point. That's why they're selling so cheap to try and drum up some business, which means they could be like down to sue. So I kind of see they could be Disney level litigious if you show
if they had the money to pay a lawyer to sue, then yeah, they could.
One of them has a nephew who's just got out of law school that they will use. At least one person. Everyone has one person they know that kind of just got out of law school. I got a couple.
Yeah. But I didn't have to angle it that hard. Just the way the can was actually printed, it was the right way to do it. So it worked out.
You picked that one specifically for that reason. Like everything you see, you've planned out, right? In that video.
Yeah. I did plan out pretty much.
Set deck, location scouting.
Yeah,
you got the whole shebang, and then the logo was ham.
This brings us to what I was actually thinking about for this podcast in particular, is that I was like, oh, what do I do with this? Before, like the Steve in my car and I was in the car and I was just talking randomly, whatever. It had kind of its own little gimmick, just being in the car in different places and drinking Slurpees and stuff. And then for this one, I was like, I just wanted to be more generalized talk and whatever, but stuff that we're interested in, movies and whatnot. But I had this idea as I was uploading the video there, and I was like, oh, I can upload songs too. And I was like, I should make this like my own version of show and tell, where I can just show whoever's I have as a guest what I've been working on, and then you can react in time, whatever, like as you're hearing it for the first time or whatever.
I'll give you a real-time 1 to 10 rating.
Yeah, or not.
I was gonna say, but I don't mince words and I don't hold back. I am the Roger Ebert of rating Steve Macauley.
Right, but I actually decided I would switch it around because I was like, I'm gonna play you music. No, you are part or know people who are part of a very infamous European band named Sandworm. And
I've been known to be in their company.
Yeah, well, I discovered some unreleased tracks of theirs that I have uploaded to this so we can hear little clips of them.
For sure, but I want it just for the record, for all the listener. It's not sandworm. Even in English, it's pronounced sandworm.
Sandworm. Here, I'll even...
Sandworm.
Yeah, so sandworm. Woo, that's not how you do it, Steve. Sandworm. Save that. Okay, yeah. Boom. Sandworm.
Boom. Hell yeah.
Look at that. So all we got to do.
Like 30 years ago, that would have cost $1 million, I think, putting in that banner.
I know, it's crazy.
Jurassic Park, like just put up Jurassic Park on the front. Even if they just did it in like Comic Sans, it would have cost $30 million. And now, boom, free.
So I'm going to show you a song. You must have heard this one. One of their biggest hits. Phallus in Wonderland.
They've so many. I believe it's actually Phallus in Wonderhand.
Underhand. Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, let's make sure.
I assume it was just a little. Probably the H had kind of been scrubbed out a little bit, but Phallus in Wonderhand.
Yeah. Oh, I should put now playing.
It's a classic at this point. I hear it on the radio all the time still.
Okay.
Barack Obama puts it on his workout mix. Like when he was campaigning, he was probably on there as well. It's just a good old fashioned pump up tune that really gets you revved up.
Well, let's not let the people wait too long. I'm just going to have it playing. We can talk over top of it.
That's sacrilege. you are dead silent when you listen to Sandberg. The concerts, it's weird as hell. It's just dead silent.
Can you hear that? Are you able to hear that music?
I mean, that could just be Sandberg. They're sneaky.
Smiling at me.
You can't hear it at all?
To come and play around in its tree. Look at that.
I can see the now playing. That might be another $30 million you just spent.
Put it down,
yeah.
I'll show you what
Well,
that's the budget.
Put in the key.
Well, it says it's playing, so I assume that maybe you just can't hear it.
I don't know if you're picking your video as well as audio, but I'll just pretend like
Yeah, you can do that. And I'll...
If you need to, you can come. Eat a cookie, get real small.
You listen to it.
For anybody who wants to hear it, I will post a link with this video. Oh, is that... Is he going to eat everything in the room there?
Look at the rose.
I literally just took him for an hour walk, and we sat in the backyard prior to that for 15 minutes, and just like, I throw the ball to the other side. It's like a good 100 feet away. Throw the ball. Yeah, he's going to eat something. That's cool.
Good pup. Good pup. I'm surprised you couldn't hear the music, though.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, when I go in, I'll see if it's there. And if it's not, I will just add it in.
A little studio magic.
Studio magic. But yeah, maybe I'll have to figure that out and see what I can do with that to make sure that everyone can hear it who's in. Maybe do some Googling. This is first time really doing this, so.
We're gonna iron out the bugs and work out the kinks.
Yeah, like
say get rid of bed bugs, you iron them out, right?
Yeah, you just take the iron right to the bed, and
that's it.
Hopefully, it doesn't light on fire. I was thinking of other things too because I'm like, oh well, I should probably have a few things prepared, and one of the things was a joke, and that it's more of just a statement.
Okay.
Let me check my notes here.
Let me check my ledger.
Did you know that finger painters were the first digital artists?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I liked it.
I think there's probably a better way to set it up to make it 1% funnier.
Yeah, like you could make it a question.
Yeah,
and so that way you can at least get
the first digital artists.
I was gonna say, or what? I don't know. There's definitely a better way.
Is digital art funnier than digital artists?
Digital artists? I thought digital artists worked. I got it right away. There was no like hesitation, okay. So that's good. But sometimes it's just better to have like the setup and punchline and question if you're gonna ask people like, what was it? What do you call Charlie Brown and Linus when they're getting their clothes ready for a vacation?
I don't know. What? Packing
peanuts? Oh, yeah.
Stupid. But great.
I had to write a really bad joke for like my movie club. And I was like, oh shit, I got to sit down and write something bad. And that was what I came up with. Packing peanuts. But again, you got it right away. So that's the sign of a clever joke, right?
Or an obvious one, the low-hanging fruit.
I mean, I live in the shade of low-hanging fruit, okay? It's a beautiful place to be, and there's always something to pluck. It's good. I got no complaints. I'm a lazy comedian.
That's fair. Like I would consider myself also a lazy comedian. So lazy that I've never actually done.
I was gonna say I also don't even consider myself a comedian. Just lazy.
Yeah. Hey, well, you're crushing it. You're crushing it.
Oh my! Or am I killing it?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
You're probably gonna hear a little like air going in and out noise.
Barely.
Okay, I swear to God, I'm only half of those are farts. The other half is just Freddie biting into his ball. I swear.
That's fine. Like the dogs that are my landlord's dogs here in the building here, they never stop barking. So I'm surprised that right now that it's not just overwhelming with barks. There'll probably be a few at some point, but
You know, whatever. This podcast was overwhelmed with Barks root beer. That's a sponsor you need.
Man.
I'm a Barks root beer man, not by choice, but we were all deciding our favorite root beers, and everyone picked like different ones, and then I was the last one to answer, and I was like my friend was like, "Oh, I'm a mug man. Oh, I'm an A&W guy," and I was just like, I guess I'm Barks.
Like you just too much pride to accept that you like the same root beer as other people.
No. So to this day, it's been years. I buy Barks root beer if I buy root beer. It's the dumbest. I don't know why. It's the dumbest hill I'm dying on.
It's the principle of the thing. It's the principle of it.
Also, someone has to keep Barks in business. So I'm single-handedly. I do the two worst pops, I think. If you pick two pops that are your favorite, what would you pick right now? Sodas for our American listener.
Wild cherry Pepsi.
Oh, that's a great pick. I love that. And corn dogs together are the perfect mix ever. Dr. Pepper's a good one. So I have Barks root beer and Mountain Dew. But like just the worst choices. Barks got bite and Mountain Dew is a whiskey chaser, right? That's what it was originally invented for.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I believe so. I think it was with not even whiskey. I believe moonshine. Like it's a full-on moonshine. I think it was invented
just non-alcoholic.
Legitimately, I believe it's because moonshine is so crazy strong. They thought we need an equally obnoxious flavor that no one likes, and let's put them together, and hopefully that creates something. That's the story of Mountain Dew. Yeah.
When I was growing up, one year, the local church that we went to when I was like, how old was I? I was like 12. I was in grade 7.
Do you remember the name of the church?
Yeah, New Christ Memorial in Los Angeles, California. And
NCM, totally. I get it. I'm an NC man. But, I don't even know what that is.
They just dropped the new, so it'll be like CMC. It would be New or Christ Memorial Church.
So they've been around long enough. When does New York drop it? When does New York drop the new? It's just
York City. I'm just going to go to York City.
Oh, yeah, I'm from York City.
Well, maybe when the old York stops being York and they become old York, then New York can just become York.
So we need to burn down York so New York can become York. And then when there's a New York again that pops up somewhere else, we'll have to burn down York.
Yes. Okay. So the church had a block party every year. Every summer they would have a block party. And they would have all the people from the neighborhood come around. And it was just like, they'd have music and kids rides and whatever. And one year, the Mountain Dew truck was there when I was like 12 years old. And so me and my 4 brothers and my family were there. We were like helping volunteer with stuff. But we're like, oh, yeah. It was when they were there because they were promoting their new drink, Mountain Dew Code Red.
Like, if there's ever a date that deserves a stat holiday, it's the day Code Red was released.
Oh, it was amazing. They were just giving out Mountain Dew all night, just giving it out for free. And so
I would cancel Canada Day for Code Red Mountain Dew Day at this point.
And so at the end of the night, apparently not a lot of people like Mountain Dew. Like, what kind of... Yeah, I know. That's what I thought. And at the end of the night...
Not everyone has such a refined palate as us. Some people have those gutter palates. And you know what? They're living their lives. I would say not well, but they're living their lives, and that's fine.
Yeah, so at the end of the night, the guy who was running the truck, he's like, oh, well, Mountain Dew paid me to give all of this away. So I can't show up with all of these flats of Mountain Dew thinking they'll be like, why didn't you give any of this away? And so I got to give it to somebody. And so my family we were like helping tear down. We were like the only ones left, and we're the only white family. Let's be fair. So we were the only ones who liked Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
and
the mayonnaise of soda.
Right. And so we got, I think we got like 7 or 8 flats of Mountain Dew cans.
How many hours
of
did that
original
last
and
your
code red.
family?
It lasted us months because we were, at first it was like, oh, great, Mountain Dew. And then it just starts tasting like water because it's all you're drinking.
I mean, like water is that's not bad. Like it could taste way more offensive over like.
Oh yeah, no, it was just
But
became like
agreed.
nothingness. It was just like there was no point to drink it, and it was like so much. So what we did was we just start slanging them at school. So you just take a few in the backpack, be like, "Oh, I got a bunch of drinks, so give me $1 and you can have it."
Man, that's actually a pretty good plan. That's way better. I thought you guys were going to say you started drinking moonshine with it. That's how we got rid of it.
No, it was, and then you know what I do is get that $1 for the Mountain Dew. I just go to the vending machine, buy a wild cherry Pepsi, because those I still
Are the best.
Oh,
Absolutely the best.
And this is like in Los Angeles. So I was at a school in middle school, so grade 6, 7, 8, and they still had pop vending machines where it was like Pepsi like paid to have these on the campus, right? For sixth graders. And so you go and it's like $1 a drink, and they're just raking in money. So it didn't matter about health. There was no like, oh, you should probably have some healthy options. No, it was all just the sugariest drinks that you could think of, right next to a candy vending machine. With
sugar
like
comes
Skittles.
from a plant, right? Sugar comes from a plant. So wild cherry Pepsi is basically vegetarian at this point. It's a healthy.
It is vegetarian. Yeah,
it's a healthy vegetable option.
I would hope it's vegetarian.
With the amount
meat soda.
Oh man, with the amount of mice and rats that fall into that vat every day, I can't promise you it is actually vegetarian.
Right. That's fair.
But in school, like it's like pizza and now wild cherry Pepsi can both be vegetables. Like let's sell that. Let's go to Congress. We're not even American, but let's go to Congress and like let's make this change.
Congress.
Let's de-Snyder this and like just warm the hearts and turn the heads and just enlighten.
Because we are not going to take it.
It even has cherry in the title. Wild cherry. It's a fruit. It's not even a vegetable. It's a fruit. Wild cherry Pepsi.
It's organic because it's wild cherry. It's not pesticide cherry. Yeah,
oh my God.
Like wild cherry Pepsi.
It's basically like wild grain rice at this point, right? Like it's the same thing to me.
This is like I'm not getting paid for this. But I'm still promoting.
We have done a decent amount of advertising for companies that will never even give us a cent. But God, you know what? They're good products.
Like I am on, I think it's day 50 of no smoking. But I would still, day 50 of no smoking. But I would still prefer a cigarette sponsorship. Because I just feel like they would pay better. And they would have like better perks than anything else. And the funny thing is, you can't actually advertise them. So you get paid to not have to advertise them. Maybe just be in a picture with a cigarette at some point.
I was thinking you might be on the first podcast I've ever seen where, that doesn't make sense for a podcast. First podcast I'd ever heard where in the middle of it, you would just be like, oh, and what project are you working on? Oh, can you hold for a second? Oh, fuck, that's good. Oh my God, that Marlboro's so excuse me. And what project were you working on? And there we go. You got naturalized marketing.
Right.
Seamless. No one would even know. It would be like, it's like, basically subliminal at that point. That was so subtle. It was subliminal.
Well, all the podcasts nowadays are just like have weed sponsors, right? Like Mike.
That sounds great.
Mike Tyson has his Hot Boxing podcast, which is a great title, where he just sits.
That is very, very
sits in a small room with his who knows what his entourage, and he just smokes a ton of weed. And it's called Hot Boxing. They talk about boxing and stuff. David Spade was
pretty
on
good
not too long ago. Yeah.
Oh, I just listened to another David Spade podcast today.
Flying the Wall?
On Smartless. I'm going to jump.
Oh, he was on Smartless.
He He was on Smartless, yeah.
Oh, I gotta check that out because I also listen.
Now that
to
they got the dog again, I've been listening to a lot more podcasts,
Yep.
even just throwing the ball in the yard. So I've been kind of really hitting it hard lately.
Okay, top 3 podcasts right now.
Right now, or like top 3 of all time? Just right now.
We'll do both. So right now.
Okay, we'll start right now. Right now, Smartless is a great one. I'm still working my way through My Brother and Me, because I started that in 2017, 2018, and there was already like 300 episodes at that point. They're now at 600 some episodes.
Yeah.
I'm at like 565. I'm in the final 50 here. It's gonna now that I'm walking an hour, so it's it's been by the end of it. Once I'm finally caught up, I will be at.
You almost got to as much Star Trek as I've watched.
Oh yeah, cool. I'm just curious right now. 650 divided by 24. By the time I'm done, 27 days of my life will have been spent listening to that podcast.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fucking lit, man. Yeah.
Okay, what's your third one? What's your third one? You got Smartless. You got My Brother and Me.
Oh, that's a very good point. I'm totally not opening up my podcast because I don't have anything. I'm not a smart man, as you know. Oh, of course. Right now, it's Always Sunny podcast. The problem is I am caught up to that, so I have to wait weekly, and that sucks. That sucks a lot. How about yourself? What do you listen to right now?
Right now,
I jump into other stuff. Like I will listen to like Steve-O's Wild Ride, but I generally do that on YouTube, or I might do like a Stuff You Should Know. Like I'll throw in other stuff, but the big ones I'm just trying to stay up to date with. Those are the
I just for right now, I guess it would be number 1 is Pete Holmes. You Made It Weird. I'm going through the backlog now. I'm going back. I have to go backwards because I've listened to all the recent ones in the past few months, including
another Herculean effort to get through it all.
Like even just where he does on Fridays, one with his wife Val. They have over 100 episodes of that, and those are over an hour each. And then
it's been a long time since I've listened to it, and I remember him always mentioning the name Val. I don't know if I remembered they were married. That was his wife. For some reason, I think she thought it was his producer that whole time when I was listening to it.
He started dating her while he was doing the podcast. So it's funny going backwards in time. He's like mentioning her in different ways. He's like, "Oh yeah, this girl I started dating," and then it's like. Then they got engaged and now they're married. They got a kid who's like 4 years old or whatever.
That's why I like. I'm dipping into my favorite podcasts of all time really quickly, but I was Comedy Bang Bang is an all-star for me. I don't listen to it as much as I should anymore. Yeah, but like, dollars to nuts or whatever the hell that phrase is.
Dollars to donuts, I believe.
Dollars to nuts is now what I'm going to say because I'm such a moron. Dollars to nuts, give him probably more entertainment than any other podcast. There's too many geniuses on that show, but he also did the same thing. I started listening to it around episode 200. And it was like, oh, my girlfriend this, my girlfriend this. Even though he'd already been married at that point, but he'd always say my girlfriend. And then it was my ex-girlfriend because he married her and he started calling his ex-girlfriend and it became my ex-girlfriend, now wife. And I was like, oh yeah, my ex-girlfriend Kulop. And he's like, oh, you guys broke up? Oh no, we got married. But
she used to be my girlfriend.
My ex-girlfriend, now wife. It's such a great way to say it.
Okay. So
probably the only reason I would ever want to get married, just so I could use that joke.
Right.
It's the ultimate steal joke. Like to get married just so you can steal a joke is like the ultimate joke theft.
Okay, so You Made It Weird by Pete Holmes is my top one right now. I just finished up the Good Place podcast because I rewatched the series, and so I found, they had a podcast hosted by Mark Evan Jackson, the guy who played Sean, and he's on like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and all that stuff. Yeah. So, so I listened through all that, and that was pretty good. Office Ladies, I guess, but I haven't listened to...
It's been a while for me as well, but I did like it a lot. I just have too many going.
And then I guess I don't really have an all-time. I started listening to podcasts more recently, even though I was making podcasts for much, much longer. I've only recently started getting into it. Oh, well, Reese Darby's one was pretty funny about UFOs. It was only one season. It was like 10 episodes.
Yes, I'm going to listen to that as well. You recommended that.
Yeah, Aliens Like Us. And then...
like a great title. Absolutely great title.
Oh, there was one, and Smartless, of course. Yeah, and Fly on the Wall with David Spade and Dana Carvey. I think Dana Carvey and David Spade are still two of the funniest guys. They're so funny.
That's why I love David Spade on Smartless, because he is like, Will Arnett is probably like dollars to nuts, probably the best like satisfies that like succeeds in that vibe where you're just making fun of your friends. I can't picture anyone right now
fun of Jason
better who's better at burning his friend, because like that's the most fun thing in the world. Like making fun of your friends, it's like getting angry alone. Making fun of your friends. I can't just be mean to someone on the street and make fun of the hat they're wearing.
And
but I can look at you and immediately systematically tear you down because you're my friend.
Yeah.
So Will Arnett, hearing him do that, it's like, to me, it's like my Pope at that point. Like, he's so good. Like, well, yeah,
Bateman.
He's is Lego Batman here? What's
yeah. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. You hear that, Jason?
I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
You know, like when they take
he's from
movies,
he's from Manitoba, I think.
I think he's from Ontario. I thought
Ontario.
Because his dad is like was the CEO of
I think he
Molson,
spent some time in Winnipeg. I think he spent time
that poor
in
bastard.
Winnipeg. But yeah, he's Canadian as well.
I knew that, but he's just he's like a surgeon when it comes to burning your friends. He just takes that scalpel and just slices you perfectly. It's amazing, and that's what David Spade is like. But he's more of like a quick like the '90s called this. Like he just quickly peppers it in, while Will Arnett goes big and just like destroys you. But they're both. There's room for both in my world. All I want is if everyone just made fun of everyone, we'd have a much happier world, I think.
I agree.
Everyone says be nice to everyone. Yeah. Oh my God. Like my heart grew 3 sizes when you said that.
I think David Spade really gets a pass on his humor, the way he does it. You know, like it is kind of that 90s vibe. But if you really think about it, he invented that. He was like the guy doing those kind of insult. He started it.
He's so smart.
Thing was that. Like, Just Shoot Me was all about that.
Oh, don't even get me started on Just Shoot Me. I think about Just Shoot Me all the time. It's weird how much it still comes up in my life. But I would say like David Spade was so smart because you always look at the opposite. So in the 90s, he said it was all just celebrity worship. Like there was no real internet when he started. Like it was like late 80s, early 90s. So everything was just magazines saying like the most ridiculous tabloid stuff. But most of the magazines were like, "Hey, welcome to new baby. Look at this sexiest man alive." And he's like, "Well, fuck this. Let's do the opposite. Let's make fun of celebrities."
Right.
It's like what a simple solution. What a simple response to what's a bad way to go about it, like celebrity worship. And he just knocked it out of the park, and he made a whole career out of it. And sometimes it's just that simple tweak. Like, you know, what if we're, instead of being nice, I'm a dick to them, and that's good enough. And that's up here 24/7. I'm like, my boss is talking to me, and I'm like, that's actually a really good idea. It's like, what if I'm just a dick? Maybe you'll respect me if I'm just a huge prick for the rest of the day.
Right.
It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's got an edge now. I like it.
I think what you should do for the next time you come on this podcast is have something prepared, like a video or something, and that I can play. Like if it's just like a joke, you should just I just picture you like sitting on a bench somewhere in Yellowknife there, and you're not talking or anything, but it's like Jack Handy's Deep Thoughts, and it's just your voice recorded the joke over top of you just sitting in a park feeding or throwing a ball with a dog or something. And
I like that a lot. I like the idea. I can already picture it. Like it'd be filmed from like 20 feet behind, and then the sun's coming right here, so I'm perfectly backlit. I'm in like a shadow.
Yeah.
And then you just see me like kind of sitting there, and there's people walking, so like side to side, like they can always enter stage left, stage right.
Right.
And it's just me like quick turn and my thought about that person.
Right.
Turn, thought about that. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty good, actually. And I definitely have those thoughts all the time. Like,
oh man, you should do that. Like,
it's pretty funny
because you got people there that you know you could get them to walk by.
Oh no, I want to systematically tear down strangers, because if I'm not going, like, again at that point I may as well be doing quote unquote improv, like getting people, my friends, walking through. Like,
that's fair.
It's all make believe. I'm gonna be on the street
just
thinking bad thoughts.
Fun of people.
Yes, and there's gonna be that one person who believes in like spiritual universal energy, and they're gonna pick up on it right away. Everyone else is gonna walk by not noticing, and then I'm gonna be like, "Well, look at this fucking dick in that hat," and he's gonna be like, "What did you say?" And I'm gonna be like, "What the fuck just happened?" And then that guy go on the road together because apparently he and I can hear each other's thoughts.
You know what that reminds me of? I watched a video the other day where it was somebody took a clip from Scrubs, but they removed JD's thoughts. So it's just his facial reactions. And so it takes forever because it's this extra long pause. And he's just
I love it.
And so I just assume you would still be making the facial reactions of your thoughts.
100%. Oh, for sure. When they go by, I'm like, the fuck? Like, I love that. I got a quick question about this JD because it's like Garfield without Garfield, right? It's like that in that kind of vein. Like it's like JD without JD's thoughts. So you said like it's just him thinking, kind of reacting. Did someone redub some of the noises he should make during that point, or is it just dead silent?
I think they did put some subtle noises.
God. That would be very funny. Like a little thing instead. That would make it.
Yeah,
just filling that little bit of dead air would be perfect.
Because I was laughing pretty hard.
To grace.
Yeah, it was pretty good because it was like a girl. He was sitting on the couch with his girl, and she was like really into him, and I think they were gonna she's like wanting to make out or something, and he was like unsure, but because you don't know his thoughts, it's just like he's going through all of these things, and she's just like staring at him, waiting for him to respond. It's just like 2.5 minutes of just that like face is changing and
I could do this, but it might fracture our friendship. Like,
right.
We've been friends for so long, like, but just completely taken out.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Smart little video.
Again, little tweak. It's like the Jurassic Park melodica. It is maybe the funniest thing in existence. But it's like, what if we take this scene and I just play the melodica? Like, it's the stupidest, simple little video. And it's been 12 years, and I still think, clearly, that was the first thing I had in the chamber. I'm still thinking, like, I bet 2% of my brain is always, absolutely, but it's always thinking about melodica. It's like, anytime it's like, oh, that's a really good melody. And then my brain's like, melodica? Can we talk about this again? Melodica? It's like, oh, no, melody? Okay, well, we'll save it for later. We'll go see Jurassic Park Dominion again, and then if you could have played it, like that would have been
maybe next time I'll see if I can get it down on recorder. I have
if
so many
you
weird
had to
things
learn
around here.
If you had to learn one of these two songs on the recorder, what would you pick? I already think I know what you're going to pick, but I'll give you a caveat after.
Okay.
But first,
hit me with it.
You can learn the Simpsons theme or the X-Files theme.
X-Files.
I knew you'd pick X-Files. I was positive of that. I was ready for it. Now picture that exact same question, but you're in 5th grade. What would you pick in 5th grade?
Simpsons.
So this is this is what we did in our 5th grade. We were given recorders because that's the only instrument they would trust 6-year-olds, or I guess 5th grade 10-year-old with. And we were given the choice in those two songs.
Yep.
And of course, the class picked Simpsons. But as an adult, I'm like, we fucked up.
Yeah, X-Files, man.
We fucked up. X-Files would have been way better.
Yeah,
like
creepy.
We would have won that recital if we had done the X-Files theme.
Yeah.
Instead, they were
had
just like
different parts of it too. Right?
I'm sure the judges were just like, oh, The Simpsons again. Oh, like this generic drivel that these 10-year-olds are shooting out. And then one kid probably came in, single recorder, played the X-Files theme, won it like $25,000 that day. There was no cash prize, but he probably won that money that day just because it was so good.
Like,
I think about it.
That's right, I'm the mayor.
That's right, I'm the mayor.
Gives him a check and the key to the city.
He definitely got a basket from Bed Bath & Beyond. I mean, the Body Shop. He definitely got a decorative basket from the Body Shop. That kid, he earned it. But like, man, as an adult, like, I have a lot of regrets, too many regrets, and yet this one sticks out the most. I mean, I have so much time to keep making. Every day is a regret in my life.
No, I think you need to go back and start looking at things that you don't regret and start regretting those.
I mean, becoming friends with you. Done.
Yeah, I figured that's like the first thing you'd been regretting this whole time.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah,
you
but
are
which
a monster.
Name one of your
He's
other
a plague
friends.
on my everyday life.
Name one of your other friends who has a podcast. You can go on and make fun of them. That's right. No one.
It's true. Well, I could go on Jeremy's podcast. That's really my only other.
Is his a podcast or a radio show? Because they do it live, don't they, on a radio station in Regina? Or have they been doing it as a podcast?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know the minutia of it, but
yeah.
Either way, fuck that guy, so I wouldn't go on his podcast anyways. And by that I mean, Jeremy, it has been like 6 years of you doing this. Guess who's never been invited? Guess who comes to Regina every year? Never been invited on this podcast. Really, it's more the hurt that's coming out right now.
I think that's why they don't have as many followers as they could. If they involved more people, they might have more followers.
I mean, you got like a stable of, like, I'm not going to say like great performers, but you got a stable of mediocre performers, and that just fills the void, right?
Or at least people who want attention and that we're willing to talk over and over again.
Over and over and over. I like, just make me the fourth host already, Jeremy. Like, your show's dying.
I was thinking too, if you wanted, we could make this more like Howard Stern. And if I have other people on, but you also want to be on, you could just be on as well.
That's great. We also need to find a way to be able to call people during. That's going to take, like, would it be crystal clear, like audio, or would it just be your phone held up to your mic so you kind of hear the people? It would probably
be that.
Is there a way to... probably not. I was going to say, use a phone.
I could always just send the link to people, and they'll be like, "What is this link?" And it just opens the camera on their phone when they click it, right?
But then we're definitely standing mangina, both of us. When they open it up, it's just two manginas side by side, and then whoever sticks around, we know are cool. Like, the people who quit, we're like, "Well, those guys are prudes. We don't even do that." But the guy who sticks around to talk with two manginas, you're like, "That guy's fucking rad."
You're not wrong. Well, maybe maybe. Oh, there's Colton.
Colty's in the house.
Colton's in the house. Oh, I should probably turn that down so I don't get copyright thing.
I don't know about you, but I'm completely muted now.
No, you're not. I only muted me.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So I was gonna Bill Burr it. I was going to read your lips and answer.
We can try that.
I got a great idea. Yeah, mute it. You ask me a question. I'm going to try and figure out what it is, and I'm just going to answer.
Okay, let's do it.
5 inches, but it's thick. That's a great throwaway line from 30 Rock. It's maybe the best. I don't remember the term, but there's a line when scenes are starting and they use a line at the beginning of the scene that's unrelated to the rest of it just to kind of get the scene going.
Right.
And they're just, Liz Lemon is going to talk to Jack and he's doing renos on his office. It's very early on. It's in the first 3 episodes, I think. And he's on the phone and all he says is, "It's 5 inches, but it's thick." And then he hangs up and they go into the scene. He turns and talks to Liz. And I'm like, what a great throwaway line. The only other one that I think at least rivals it is from Broad City, and Hannibal Buress is doing he's a dentist in it. He's doing some type of little procedure. He's on the phone and he's like, "You don't have to tell me how good Sour Patch Kids are. I know." And then he hangs up and then he goes into the scene. And it never referenced again. They don't bring it up, but it's so good. I love those throwaway lines. All right, hit me with one more. I'll literally try this time and see if I can figure out. Just ask once, and I'm going to see if I can do it.
Okay, let me get ready here. I think I actually had some questions written down, so I can use one.
We can do that as well if you want, but right now,
this might be better. Okay.
Let's go one more. Let's ask one more time. Ask one more time. Going to go with, because you could read lips and I heard it all. It's clear in my head. Jalapenos and pineapple is a pretty good mixture that people don't really explore that often. But that savory, that hot, that sweet, it's all just like a cornucopia of goodness. And I think
I'll take that as a yes.
Yes. Yes, okay. I do like jalapenos and pineapples together.
No, I asked.
What was the real question?
I asked if you were ever going to do stand-up again.
Oh, I mean, I got nothing against it. It kind of really shut down, obviously, like most other places. There's not really open mics here in Yellowknife anymore. Really, you get a couple events throughout the year. If you're like, unless you organize it yourself, which I'm clearly never going to do.
Yeah.
There's a couple of events throughout the year that you can kind of jump on. Oh, that's just not happening. I'm more of a, again, it's just like the surfer analogy again. I just like to ride in people's wakes. You do the work, you're the wave, you're bringing the change, you're bringing the funny, and then I'm just kind of riding behind in my little tiny child Sea-Doo, and I just pick up the scraps. Yes, I would do it again. I would like to find a way. I've really transitioned out of writing jokes, which is not a great thing, into just writing movies. Like that's all I do. It's way more fun. And I think it would be fun to do a stand-up routine where I made the posters as well.
Right.
And I do like a board presentation. Like I can go up and I have like, it's completely hidden. And then I go up and I give the explanation, and then I don't have to say it out loud. Like I don't go, why don't we just do a little test right here? Let's do, none of these are going to be good. I've got a new phone, so I only have access to a few of them because it's a different type of phone. So I don't have my original, 400 list of fake movies. So right now, let's just start with, I mean, this isn't even good. So I would say something like, I haven't written any of these, it's just a title. It'd be something like, a very popular jock high school student decides he doesn't want to follow in his father's footsteps and join the army, and instead wants to go to a little trade vocational school and learn how to repair air conditioning units. And it's called AC Slater. But what I would do is I would Photoshop Mario Lopez fixing air conditioners, and then I would reveal it, and then I'd move on to the next one. That would be it. Now, granted, I probably wouldn't bring AC Slater to the game. I wouldn't bring it to the show. That would be a leaked home, buried in a drawer somewhere. But all I did was pull up my note file, and that was the number.
I hear you.
Yeah, but I think that'd be kind of a fun way to do it, because I just don't write full jokes anymore. I just haven't done it in a while.
Right.
Short of the Packing Peanuts one.
What about like a TV show instead of a movie?
I mean, that's great too. We should branch out more anyways.
Or like even spec scripts.
Spec scripts is good. It'd be funny.
Write a It's Always Sunny episode or something.
Spec scripts would be great. What I should do is invent something and then write a spec script for that and pretend like I'm writing a spec script for an existing property.
Right.
And then I can
like
just go,
a pilot script. Or like a...
But I'm going to pretend like,
Yeah.
It's been on for 20 years, and I'm.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know where this is going. I'm just.
No, but I like it. It's just like weird ideas like that.
Yes.
I think Donald Glover got Community because he got. Oh, I forgot.
He was writing on 30 Rock for
he got his first. Right. Yeah, he got the job on 30 Rock writing because he did a Simpsons spec script, and Tina Fey read it.
Do you know what I would love to read? This is a very, inside baseball. This is like, unless you know us, you're not going to know this person, but Chris Miller, I believe, wrote a spec script for The Office when they did that. There was some class assignment where they had to write a script in a certain amount of time. It had to be like 20-some pages in a couple hours or whatever it was. And I believe his was a spec script for The Office. I would like to go back and read that spec script.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I don't know. He
probably still has it.
That's actually a good point. And we do talk every now and then. I should. I'll check it out. I just want him. Play Creative Studio should just make it.
Yeah.
He just plays Jim.
For people who don't know, we could just explain. Chris Miller, a friend of ours who lives in Saskatchewan, Canada, Queen City, he has his own company with a few other friends where they do commercials, and they're moving more into doing it seems like they're doing more than just commercials now. Then
hell yeah, he's primed. He's already got a script ready. He's got it, Jim and Pam.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good to go. But again, we'll see. I got to read it first. It's got to have my approval. I got to sign off on it before Play Creative is allowed to work on it. It's got to get my stamp,
Right.
as a head of Play Creative Studios. I'm just gonna create my own. Can anyone just make like an LLC
Yep,
or
I've done
an
it. I've got
LTD? Really? And you just do a one-time fee, or is this like a yearly fee?
It depends on you
can I incorporate myself? Like, how do I do all that?
You can incorporate pretty easily. I think it was like $30.
That sounds pretty good to legally be in a registry somewhere.
Yeah,
like
because all you're doing
like,
is you're just paying somebody to go through the registry to make sure that it's not there, the name that you want.
Yeah.
Like I have Creative Steve Art Company.
Hey, nice.
So technically, I could run this podcast as under that right now.
Why not?
And,
I'll run my half under. I'm going to go. Mine was always Minute Maid, but not MAID, MADE. This is my video's Minute Maid. This is a Minute Maid video. This is a Minute Maid podcast.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So
you might get some legal. They might not like it, but if you're registered in Canada,
get in line, Minute Maid. First AMP, then Minute Maid can sue us. Let's it's Canada. Let's be civil about this. You're right.
Yeah,
we're very litigiously respectful.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to be Coca-Cola. You know, like that is my. It's like Coca-Cola would shut that down so quick.
Oh yeah. Disney.
Disney. Walt Disney. The Walt Disney Company.
Disney's.
Yeah. You know what?
I like it.
I should try to get Chris on here. Chris would be a good person to have on the podcast.
He'd be a great person.
Plus, I haven't talked to him in years, so it would probably be good to catch up.
Man, get the whole team together and do it.
Well,
get Chris, Mike, and Amy all at once would be great. That'd be Jason as well.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Get a little group action going. Little podcast orgy.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Or whoever can make it.
It's more like them running train on you, right? Because like they're going to be 3 on one side and then 1 just you. So yeah.
Well, I'd set it up like how would I do it? Like this. So everybody else would be small, and I would be gigantic in this screen here. Oh, did you freeze? Oh no, I think we might have lost Matt. No, let's get rid of him for a second, and then we'll bring him back. Oh yeah, we lost him for a moment. Well, maybe he'll come back in. Anyway, I think this is going pretty good for your first episode. I guess I could explain who Matt is. Matt is a longtime friend that we used to do podcasts together. We did a podcast called Two Idahoan Potato Farmers, which is a movie podcast where we come up with ideas for movies and we write those movies in 45 minutes to an hour. And now I'm starting this one up again. So I think we're going to start that one again, too. One of these days when we get some time, we're going to do some recording. And I'm just going to see if I can get him back in here. All right, there we go. There we go. I'll edit all that out.
Part of living in the land down under, man.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But the cool thing is I can edit it, which is great.
You launched into your own, whatever kind of tirade you wanted to go on at that point.
I did actually.
That's
I did
perfect.
a bit, so.
You're minding the gap.
Yeah. And it's good to be able to do that, I think. Get some practice in there.
100%.
Especially because it's already like an hour in. Holy. We're doing pretty good.
We're
doing pretty good.
Think,
how much?
We should stop right at the hour mark and not edit it.
Okay. How
it was great talking to you, and it's been an honor.
We'll end it the way we started it. Yeah, we go woo, woo, woo. Oh no!